Getting rich sounds complicated. Most people imagine it requires constant work, endless research, or risky moves that only experts understand. But the truth is, you don't have to be a genius, and you don't need to spend hours every day staring at the stock market. In fact, some of the wealthiest people in history have shown that the smartest way to build wealth is often the laziest. That's what I want to share with you today, the Lazy Investor's Guide to Getting Rich. It's about putting your money in the right places, letting compounding do the heavy lifting, and watching your wealth grow without stress. The first rule of the lazy investor is patience. People lose money when they chase quick gains, jump in and out of stocks, or try to time the market. Lazy investors understand that real wealth takes time, but they also know that time is their greatest ally. Compounding, the process of your money earning returns, and then those returns themselves earning more returns, works quietly in the background. And when you give it years or decades, the results can be jaw-dropping. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine you start with just $1,000. Instead of letting it sit in a regular savings account where it might earn a few cents a year, you put it into a simple index fund like one that tracks the S&P 500. Historically, this has returned about 8% per year on average. If you never add another penny, that $1,000 could grow to about $2,159 in 10 years. That's more than doubling your money without doing a thing. Leave it in for 20 years, and it becomes around $4,660. Give it 30 years, and your lazy $1,000 is turned into roughly $10,000. No second job, no complicated trading strategy, just time and compounding doing the work. But the real magic happens when you make investing a habit, even with small amounts. Suppose you set up an automatic transfer of $100 a month into that same index fund. That's just $25 a week, less than eating out once or twice. After 10 years, you will have put in $12,000 of your own money, but thanks to compounding, your account would actually be worth about $18,000. Keep going for 20 years, and your total contributions will be $24,000, but your balance would be close to $59,000. Stretch it to 30 years, and your $36,000 in contributions could have grown into more than $135,000. And if you stay consistent for 40 years, that same lazy $100 a month could build you a nest egg of more than $350,000. Now let's double that to $200 a month. That's still not a huge sacrifice for many people. Maybe the cost of cable TV and a couple of dinners out. After 40 years, that steady, boring, lazy $200 a month could grow into more than $700,000. That's the power of compounding, and it requires no daily effort at all once you set it up. Some people might say, well, what if the stock market crashes? That's a fair question, but here's the lazy investor's answer. Don't panic. The market has always gone up and down in the short term, but over decades, the trend is upward. Someone who invested in the S&P 500 50 years ago and just left their money alone would still be sitting on enormous gains today, despite multiple recessions, wars, and crises. The lazy investor doesn't try to predict the perfect time to buy or sell. They simply invest consistently, ignore the noise, and let history play out. Of course, not everyone is comfortable with the ups and downs of stocks. That's fine because the lazy investor's toolkit has safer options too. Government bonds, treasury bills, or even high-yield savings accounts are ways to earn steady, predictable returns. For example, right now 10-year U.S. Treasuries pay around 4.5%. If you invest $1,000, in 10 years you'd earn about $450 in interest, turning it into $1,450. That's not as exciting as stocks, but it's still much better than leaving it in a regular savings account where you'd only make a handful of dollars over the same period. A lazy investor might mix safe bonds with stock market investments, balancing risk and reward while keeping everything simple. Another lazy tool is dividend stocks or dividend ETFs. These are investments in companies that share their profits directly with shareholders. Imagine owning a stock that pays you 3% per year in dividends. On $10,000, that's $300 in cash every year, sent to you without lifting a finger. If you reinvest those dividends, you buy more shares, which means bigger dividends next time. Over years, that snowball turns into a powerful income stream. Some people eventually build portfolios where dividends alone pay their living expenses. That's about as lazy as it gets. Your money literally paying your bills while you do nothing. The beauty of lazy investing is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to predict which company will explode or try to outsmart professionals. You just need to be consistent. Set up automatic transfers so you don't have to think about it every month. Choose low-cost funds so you're not wasting money on fees. Reinvest your earnings so compounding stays strong. And most importantly, give it time. Here's one more number example to drive the point home. Let's say you start at age 25 and invest $100 a month until you're 65. That's 40 years of lazy investing. By the end, you could have more than $350,000. But what if you waited until age 35 to start? Now you only have 30 years to invest. Your account at retirement will be closer to $135,000. That's still good, but look at the difference. By starting 10 years earlier with the same $100 a month, you could end up with more than $200,000 extra. That's the true power of compounding. It rewards the early and the patient, not the busy or the frantic. So the lazy investor's guide to getting rich is simple. Put your money into broad, reliable investments like index funds. Reinvest your dividends. Add safe options like bonds if you want stability. Automate the process so you don't have to think about it. Ignore the daily noise of the market and trust the long-term trend. And above all, give your money time to grow. Getting rich doesn't require endless effort. It doesn't require secret knowledge. It requires patience, consistency, and the discipline to do less, not more. By being lazy in the right way, you let your money work harder than you ever could. That's how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth, quietly, steadily, and with almost no effort at all.